Alright guys, so I'm gonna go out and run one live deck of logs real quick on the Easton Made 60C. I'll kind of walk you through our setup here. I'm just gonna take you out from our shop, so I'm at the shop now, and I'll ride out there with you. We buy all of our logs from a couple different suppliers here in the area and try to get fairly straight, limbs tight, and mostly double bunked on tractor trailers is how we buy them. That works best on this processor to get a log that's cut, you know, between 15 to, I'd say this one right here on the bottom is probably pushing 30 feet, maybe even longer than that. I'm not sure, but so yeah, this is our 60C. This is actually the very first 60C that Andrew ever built. This was when he was buying the company from his father when it was Bell's, and this was the transition from Bell's to Easton Made. Is kind of when we called to order our processor. We've got that feeding into a 40-foot blockbuster elevator, dual chain driven, going up into a multi-tech sorting tumbler, so that takes our resplits out of the finished product. So anything that's a little bit too large, and it does it mechanically, so there's a little bit of error. You may see some smaller pieces in with those resplits in the dump trailer there. And then anything that's finished size or scrap size falls into the Easton Made disc cleaner. That's the 10-foot disc cleaner. Also one of the first ones they ever put out. And then we have this used to be a dumpster that we converted into, put a skid steer plate on it, and that catches all the debris underneath, and then we burn that. So, and then this right here, after that, the disc cleaner feeds into a larger hopper conveyor here. This is a conveyor that's actually made for chicken litter. So it's got metal slats, dual chain, and my goodness, this thing geared up at the top, just completely different than firewood conveyors. So it's got all kinds of power. So that just runs at idle speed and takes anything up it, no problems. So we've got the Multi-Tech powered by a Multi-Tech power pack right here. And then, so the Multi-Tech tumbler is powered with this power pack, and then the Easton Made disc cleaner is powered with the Easton Made power pack, and that's got that 14 horse Vanguard on it. So yeah, I'm gonna get everything fired up. We load it with load the live deck with either, we've got a Bobcat S330 or a Bobcat T190 are usually what we're loading with. I really like to use the T190, but it's out on a job site right now for our landscape business. I prefer using it to load with. It just barely sips any fuel for one, and it's tracked machine, so I just like operating it a little bit better. Yeah, here's a look at where, you know, our log piles are in relation to our processor here. We try to keep a little bit of distance, give us plenty of room to pile up a pretty good amount of logs. We actually have in the past had 2 rows of logs right here. We put them right here next to the retention pond here at the front of the property, and we'll unload those tractor trailers. We've got the, you may have seen the knuckle boom right there in the background, but it's the Prentice 210. And then we'll sort out different species, primarily hickory over here, and smaller diameter stuff over there in the far corner. And yeah, we've got a good bit of hickory here. So yeah, I'll get it all set up, get it fired up, and you guys can watch me run through this this live deck here. So I like to clean all this up in between each live deck. Just makes it easier. You gotta get yourself a really good quality rake, just like ours. Been running over a time or two, I think, but I'll go ahead and load the live deck real quick. Show y'all how we do that. These aren't perfect, but and I'll get plenty of videos doing some. I may try to get a video of just doing some ugly stuff, just to show you guys. I mean, this thing it runs the wood good. I mean, that's one thing I can't complain is how well it feeds crooked logs. You know, I know everyone thinks the shuttle grapple on the Multi-Tech is the only way to go, you know, for a large-scale firewood operation, you know, with crooked logs and stuff. But I mean, ultimately, you got the better wood you're putting in it, the better product you're getting out of it, regardless what processor you're running. But I really have no complaints, and Easton Made's been incredible to work with. I will say that they are top-notch customer service. You know, even them being in Canada and us down here in Georgia, so it's never been an issue for us to get what we need, you know, for whether it be for the processor, the disc cleaner, power pack. We've also got an Easton Made Ultra and a 24-foot conveyor. You know, they help us out any way they can.